My name is Sarah. I'm 18 now, but this story begins when I was 17. Senior year of high school. The year everything changed. I thought I knew what love was. The crushes on boys in my class. The butterfly feelings when someone cute smiled at me. But I was wrong. Real love hit me like lightning when I least expected it. It was September. The leaves were just starting to turn orange. I walked into my advanced English class for the first time. Room 237. Third floor of Lincoln High. That's when I saw him. Mr. Davis stood at the front of the classroom. He was writing something on the whiteboard. His handwriting was neat and careful. When he turned around, my world stopped. He had kind eyes, brown hair that was slightly messy, a smile that made me forget how to breathe. He wore a simple blue shirt and dark jeans. Nothing fancy. But to me, he looked perfect. "Good morning, class," he said. His voice was warm, gentle. "Welcome to Advanced English. I'm Mr. Davis." I found a seat in the middle row. Not too close, not too far. Just right where I could see him clearly. "This year, we'll explore the greatest love stories ever written," he continued. "Romeo and Juliet, Pride and Prejudice, The Great Gatsby. Love stories. How ironic." Mr. Davis was young for a teacher. Maybe 26 or 27. Fresh out of college. This was only his second year teaching. He had energy that the older teachers had lost. Passion for his subject that made every lesson exciting. "Literature helps us understand the human heart," he said. "It shows us what it means to love, to lose, to hope." I hung on every word, not because of the lesson, because of him. That first day, I knew I was in trouble. But I didn't care. For the first time in my life, I felt truly alive. The weeks passed quickly. Every day, I looked forward to third period. Advanced English became my favorite class. Not because I loved literature, because I loved my teacher. I started paying attention to everything about him. The way he moved his hands when he talked. How he pushed his hair back when he was thinking. The little laugh he made when a student said something funny. I learned his schedule. He ate lunch in his classroom. He stayed late to grade papers. He drove a blue Honda Civic. He drank coffee from a mug that said, "World's okayest teacher." My friends started to notice my behavior. "You're acting weird," my best friend Emma said one day. We were sitting in the cafeteria. I was picking at my sandwich, not really eating. "What do you mean?" I asked. "You're distracted all the time, and you keep talking about your English teacher." My face went red. "No, I don't." "Yes, you do. Yesterday you spent 10 minutes telling me about how he explained symbolism. Nobody gets that excited about symbolism." I looked down at my tray. She was right. I couldn't stop thinking about him. Mr. Davis filled my thoughts from the moment I woke up until I fell asleep. "Do you have a crush on him?" Emma whispered. The word crush felt too small, too simple. What I felt was bigger than that, deeper. "Don't be ridiculous," I said, but my voice shook. Emma stared at me with wide eyes. "Oh my God, you do." "Sarah, he's a teacher." "I know that," I snapped. "He's like 10 years older than you." 8 years, I corrected without thinking. Emma's mouth fell open. "You looked up his age?" I had. I'd found his college graduation announcement online. He was 26. Born in March. An Aries. Not that it mattered. "This is crazy," Emma said. "You need to get over this. Now." I wanted to tell her she was wrong. That what I felt wasn't wrong or crazy. It was real. It was pure. But I couldn't find the words. In class, I tried to act normal. I participated in discussions. I turned in my assignments on time. But inside, I was falling deeper every day. Mr. Davis was everything I wanted in a person. He was smart, funny, kind to everyone. He treated us like adults, not children. He listened when we talked. Really listened. One day, we were discussing Romeo and Juliet, the scene where they first meet at the party. Love at first sight, Mr. Davis said. Do you believe it's real? Hands shot up around the room. Students shared their opinions. Some said yes. Some said no. What about you, Sarah? Mr. Davis asked. My heart stopped. He was looking right at me. Those kind brown eyes focused on my face. I think it's real, I said quietly. Why? I took a deep breath. Sometimes you just know. When you meet someone special, your heart recognizes them before your mind does. He nodded thoughtfully. That's beautifully put. The compliment made my whole body warm. I replayed those words for days. But late at night, reality would creep in. He was my teacher. I was his student. It was wrong. Impossible. Forbidden. I tried to push the feelings away. I went on a date with a boy from my chemistry class. Tyler. He was nice enough. Cute. Age appropriate. But the whole time, I compared him to Mr. Davis. Tyler's jokes weren't as clever. His eyes weren't as warm. His voice didn't make my stomach flutter. The date was a disaster. I felt guilty the entire time, like I was cheating on someone I could never have. November arrived with cold winds and gray skies. My feelings for Mr. Davis had only grown stronger. I was living in a constant state of longing. I started writing stories, poems, all about him. I filled notebook after notebook with my thoughts, my dreams, my impossible wishes. In one poem, I wrote, "You are the sun in my winter sky, the answer to questions I don't know how to ask. If I could have one wish, it would be to tell you how I feel." I kept these writings secret, hidden under my mattress like love letters I could never send. In class, we moved on to Pride and Prejudice. Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. Their complicated romance. Sometimes love isn't simple, Mr. Davis explained. Sometimes it's messy, complicated. The heart wants what it wants, even when the mind knows better. His words felt like they were meant for me, like he understood. I started staying after class sometimes, asking questions about assignments, seeking extra help I didn't really need, just to spend more time with him. "You're one of my best students, Sarah," he said one day. We were alone in his classroom. The afternoon sun streamed through the windows. "Thank you," I whispered. "You have real talent. Your essays show such depth of feeling, such understanding of the human condition." I wanted to tell him why I understood feelings so deeply. Because of him. Because he had awakened something in me I didn't know existed. "Are you thinking about studying English in college?" he asked. "Maybe," I said. The truth was, I had changed my whole life plan because of him. I was applying to education programs. I wanted to become a teacher. Like him. "You should. You have a gift." The way he looked at me made my heart race. For a moment, I thought I saw something in his eyes. Something that matched what I felt. But then he looked away. Back to his papers. "You should get going," he said. "Don't want to miss your bus." I gathered my things slowly, not wanting to leave. "See you tomorrow, Mr. Davis." "See you tomorrow, Sarah." My name sounded like music when he said it. As winter approached, the tension became unbearable. Every day was torture. Being so close to him but unable to touch, unable to tell him how I felt. My grades in other classes started slipping. I couldn't concentrate on anything but him. Math, science, history, none of it mattered. Only English. Only him. My parents noticed my distraction. "Are you feeling all right, honey?" my mom asked one evening. We were having dinner. Meatloaf and mashed potatoes. My favorite. But I wasn't eating. "I'm fine," I lied. "You seem sad lately," my dad said. "Is everything okay at school?" Everything was not okay. But I couldn't tell them why. "Just stressed about college applications," I said. It wasn't entirely untrue. I was stressed. But not about college. About the secret I carried everywhere I went. December brought snow and the winter formal dance. All my friends had dates. They spent weeks shopping for dresses and talking about their plans. I didn't want to go. What was the point? The only person I wanted to dance with would never be there. "You have to come," Emma begged. "It won't be the same without you." I almost said no. But then I found out that Mr. Davis would be chaperoning, along with other teachers. He would be there. I bought a dress. Dark blue. His favorite color. I spent hours getting ready, doing my hair, my makeup. Not for the dance. For him. The gymnasium was decorated with silver and white streamers. A DJ played music too loud. Teenagers danced awkwardly under disco lights. I stood by the wall, watching, waiting. Then I saw him. Mr. Davis stood near the refreshment table. He wore a black suit with a blue tie. He looked handsome. Perfect. Our eyes met across the room. He smiled and waved. My heart nearly exploded. I wanted to walk over to him, to ask him to dance, to tell him everything. But I couldn't. Too many people watching. Too many rules between us. Instead, I danced with other boys. Tyler asked me again. And Jeremy from my math class. I went through the motions. But my eyes kept finding Mr. Davis. Near the end of the night, a slow song came on. Wonderwall, by Oasis. Couples swayed together on the dance floor. I was standing alone when someone tapped my shoulder. I turned around. Mr. Davis stood there, looking nervous. "Would you like to dance?" he asked quietly. My world stopped. This couldn't be real. "Is that allowed?" I whispered. He looked around. Other teachers were dancing with students who didn't have partners. It was normal, innocent, but nothing about my feelings was innocent. "One dance," he said. I took his offered hand. We walked to a quiet corner of the dance floor, away from the crowd. He placed his hands carefully on my waist. I put my arms around his neck. We swayed to the music. For 3 minutes and 42 seconds, I was in heaven. He smelled like cologne and coffee. He was warm and solid and real. My dreams had nothing on this moment. "You look beautiful tonight, Sarah," he said softly. I looked up into his eyes. "Thank you. That's a lovely dress." "It's blue," I said stupidly. "Your favorite color." He looked confused. "How did you know that?" Heat flooded my face. I had given myself away. I just guessed. I stammered. He studied my face carefully. I saw something change in his expression. Understanding. Maybe even alarm. The song ended. He stepped back quickly. "Thank you for the dance," he said formally. Then he walked away. Left me standing there alone. I knew I had crossed a line, said too much, revealed too much. The rest of the dance was a blur. I went home early, cried myself to sleep. The next week at school was agony. Mr. Davis avoided looking at me directly. When he called on me in class, his voice was different, distant, professional. I had ruined everything with one stupid comment. The semester was ending. Winter break was coming. Soon, I would graduate and never see him again. The thought made me desperate. On the last day before vacation, I made a decision that would change everything. I waited until after school. Until the hallways were empty. Until it was just him in his classroom, grading papers. I knocked on his door. "Come in," he said without looking up. I walked in and closed the door behind me. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might explode. "Sarah," he said when he saw me. "What can I help you with?" His voice was careful, guarded. "I need to tell you something," I said. He set down his pen, looked at me with worried eyes. "Maybe you should sit down," he said. I shook my head. If I sat down, I might lose my courage. "I love you," I said. The words hung in the air between us. Heavy, dangerous. His face went pale. He stood up slowly. "Sarah." "I know it's wrong," I continued. The words poured out of me like water from a broken dam. "I know you're my teacher. I know I'm just a student, but I can't help how I feel. I've tried to stop. I've tried to forget, but I can't. Sarah, please dash. I love everything about you," I said. "Your smile, your laugh, the way you make literature come alive, the way you see the best in everyone. I love how kind you are, how passionate you are about teaching. I love you so much it hurts." Tears were streaming down my face now. I couldn't stop them. "I think about you all the time," I whispered. "I dream about you. I write poems about you. I changed my whole future because of you. I know it's crazy. I know it's impossible. But I had to tell you. I couldn't graduate without you knowing." Mr. Davis stared at me for a long moment. His face showed a dozen different emotions. Shock, sadness, something that might have been regret. "Sarah," he said gently, "sit down, please." This time I did. My legs were shaking too much to support me. He sat on the edge of his desk, far enough away to be proper, close enough that I could see the pain in his eyes. "What you're feeling," he said carefully. "It's not uncommon. Many students develop feelings for their teachers. It's a natural part of growing up." "This isn't some silly crush," I said fiercely. "This is real. I know the difference." "I believe you," he said. "Your feelings are real and valid. But Sarah, I'm your teacher. You're my student. This can never be anything more than that." "But when I graduate, dash." "No," he said firmly. "Even then, the age difference, the power dynamic, it would never be appropriate." I felt like he was killing me slowly. Each word was a knife in my heart. "Don't you feel anything for me?" I whispered. He was quiet for so long I thought he wouldn't answer. "What I feel doesn't matter," he said finally. "It matters to me." He looked at me with such sadness. "Sarah, you're an extraordinary young woman. You're intelligent, talented, beautiful. Any boy your age would be lucky to have you. I don't want boys my age. I want you. And I want you to have a normal life, with someone appropriate, someone who can love you the way you deserve to be loved." "You could love me that way," I said desperately. No, he said. I couldn't. And even if I could, I won't. Because it would be wrong. Because it could destroy both our lives. I was sobbing now. Ugly, broken sobs that shook my whole body. Mr. Davis looked like he wanted to comfort me. But he didn't move. Didn't touch me. The distance between us felt like an ocean. I'm sorry, I choked out. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to put you in this position. You have nothing to be sorry for, he said. Feelings aren't a choice, but actions are, and we both have to make the right choices here. What does that mean? It means this conversation never happened. It means we go back to being teacher and student. Nothing more. Nothing less. I don't know if I can do that. You can, he said. You're stronger than you know. And when you graduate, when you go to college, when you meet someone wonderful and age-appropriate, you'll understand that this was for the best. I wiped my eyes with my sleeve. I felt empty, hollow. Will you hate me now? I asked. I could never hate you, he said. But things will have to be different between us. More professional. I nodded. I understood. I had broken the rules by speaking my truth. Now I had to live with the consequences. I stood up on shaky legs, walked toward the door. Sarah, he called softly. I turned back. For what it's worth, he said. In another time, another place, another life, things might have been different. It was the closest thing to hope he could give me. I held onto those words like a lifeline. Winter break passed in a haze of sadness and reflection. I spent most of it in my room, writing in my journals and trying to make sense of my feelings. My parents thought I was just stressed about graduation and college. They had no idea their daughter's heart was breaking. When school resumed in January, everything was different. Mr. Davis kept his promise to remain professional. He treated me exactly like every other student. Polite but distant. Kind but careful. I threw myself into my studies. My grades improved. I wrote some of my best essays that semester. Ironically, my heartbreak made me a better writer. I understood tragedy now. I understood unrequited love. In February, we studied The Great Gatsby. The story of Jay Gatsby's impossible love for Daisy Buchanan. His dream that was always just out of reach. The green light, Mr. Davis explained to the class. It represents hope, dreams, the things we want but can never have. I understood Gatsby perfectly. I had my own green light, my own impossible dream. Spring arrived slowly. With it came college acceptance letters. I got into my first choice school, the teaching program I had chosen because of him. Congratulations, Mr. Davis said when I told him. You'll make an excellent teacher someday. Thank you, I said, for everything. He nodded. We both knew what I meant. The months passed quickly. Senior activities, prom planning, graduation preparations. I went through the motions. But part of me was still stuck in that December afternoon when I told him I loved him. My friends were excited about the future. College. Freedom. New adventures. I felt like I was leaving the most important part of my life behind. 2 weeks before graduation, Mr. Davis made an announcement. This will be my last year at Lincoln High, he said. I've accepted a position at another school. In another state. My heart stopped. He was leaving. Moving away. I would never see him again. After class, I lingered behind. Are you leaving because of me? I asked quietly. He looked surprised. No, Sarah. This opportunity came up months ago. It's a good career move. I wanted to believe him, But part of me wondered if my confession had made things too uncomfortable. If he was running away. "I'm sorry if I made your job harder," I said. "You didn't," he said. "You've been one of my best students. One of the brightest young people I've ever had the privilege to teach." The way he said it felt like goodbye. Graduation day was bittersweet. I walked across that stage knowing it was the end of everything. The end of seeing him every day. The end of the chapter of my life that had meant everything to me. After the ceremony, families gathered in the gymnasium for pictures and congratulations. I was hugging my parents when I saw him. Mr. Davis stood by the wall, watching his students celebrate. He looked proud but sad, like a parent watching his children leave home. Our eyes met one last time. He smiled. A real smile. Warm and genuine and full of affection. I mouthed, "Thank you," across the room. He mouthed back, "Good luck." Then he walked away. Out of my life forever. That night, I wrote in my journal one last time about him. Today I graduated. Today I said goodbye to the person who changed my life. I loved my teacher. It was wrong. It was impossible. But it was real. He taught me more than English. He taught me what it means to feel deeply, to love completely, to want something so much it transforms you. He also taught me about boundaries, about respect, about doing the right thing even when it hurts. I will always love him, but I understand now that some loves are meant to change us, not to be fulfilled. Some people come into our lives to teach us about ourselves, not to stay forever. Someday I hope to love someone who can love me back. Someone appropriate. Someone available. But I will never regret loving him. It made me who I am. College was a new beginning. I threw myself into my studies. I made new friends. I even dated a few guys. Nice guys. Good guys. But none of them made me feel the way he did. I became a teacher, just like I planned. On my first day, standing in front of my own classroom, I thought of him. I hoped I could inspire my students the way he had inspired me. Years passed. I moved on with my life. I fell in love again. Real, mutual, appropriate love. I got married. Had children. Built a career. But sometimes on quiet afternoons, I still think of him. Mr. Davis. The man who taught me that love doesn't always have to be returned to be meaningful. That sometimes the most profound connections are the ones that transform us and then let us go. I hope he's happy. I hope he found love with someone who could love him back. I hope he's still teaching, still inspiring students, still making literature come alive. I hope he remembers me fondly, not as the student who complicated his life, but as the girl who loved him purely, completely, and without expectation. If you've ever felt like me, you're not alone. If you've ever loved someone you couldn't have, you understand the beautiful agony of it, the way it fills you up and empties you out at the same time. Maybe you loved a teacher too. Maybe it was a friend who didn't feel the same way. Maybe it was someone who belonged to someone else. Maybe it was someone who lived too far away, or who was wrong for you in ways that couldn't be changed. It doesn't matter who it was. What matters is that you felt it. That deep, consuming, transformative love that changes everything about who you are. People will tell you it wasn't real love, that it was just infatuation, a crush, a phase. Don't let them diminish what you felt. Your feelings were real, even if they couldn't be returned. That kind of love teaches us things we can't learn any other way. It teaches us about longing, about sacrifice, about the difference between loving someone and being in love with the idea of someone. It teaches us that love isn't always about possession. Sometimes it's about appreciation, about gratitude, about letting go. Your impossible love didn't happen to torture you. It happened to prepare you, to show you what you're capable of feeling, to raise your standards for what love should be. Because once you've felt that deeply, you'll never settle for less. You'll know the difference between real connection and mere convenience. You'll recognize authentic feeling when it comes your way. And it will come your way. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But someday, you'll love someone who loves you back just as fiercely. Someone available. Someone appropriate. Someone who can build a life with you. When that happens, you'll be grateful for the impossible love that came before. It will have taught you how to love completely, how to be vulnerable, how to open your heart fully, even when there's no guarantee it won't be broken. Your broken heart will heal. The acute pain will fade to a gentle ache, and then to a sweet memory. You'll be able to think of that person with gratitude instead of sorrow. You'll realize that they gave you a gift, even if they couldn't give you everything you wanted. They showed you what it feels like to be fully alive, fully human, fully yourself. So if you're hurting right now, know that it's temporary. Know that you're not alone. Know that your feelings matter, even if they can't be fulfilled. Your impossible love is part of your story. It's not the end of your story. Love will come again. Different love. Mutual love. Forever love. But first you had to learn what love really means. And now you do. You're going to be okay. More than okay. You're going to be extraordinary. Just like your love was extraordinary, even if it couldn't last. Especially because it couldn't last.